Hello friends, today is a beginner's lesson. We are going to take a look at adverbs of frequency. We use adverbs of frequency to help us know how often we do a thing. So, what do you mean by frequency? It tells us how often a thing happens in a particular period of time. Adverbs of frequencies can be really helpful when you're talking about your daily routine. You can use them to describe a thing that you do on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, or even on an yearly basis. It helps your listener understand how often you do that thing. Do they happen a lot or a little bit? Let's see some examples to understand it better. So, if you want to talk about a thing that happens all the time, or we can say 100% of the time, you can use the word always. For example, instead of saying I brush my teeth every day, you can say I always brush my teeth. Now, what about the things that happen 50% of the time? Maybe you do it for 3 days or 4 days in a whole week. So in that case, you have to use the word sometimes. For example, I sometimes go for a run in the park. Now, what about something we do 0% of the time? We do it not at all. So in that case, you can use the word never. Example, I never drink coffee. So now we got 3 adverbs of frequencies. Let's just revise them all real quick. When we have to use the adverb of frequencies to explain a thing that happens 100% of the time, we use the word always. When we have to explain 50% of the time, we use the word sometimes. And when we do a verb 0% of the time or not at all, so we use the word never. Now, there are some other words between these words to express other frequency. For something that you do more than sometimes but not always, maybe you can say 80% of the times. It means that you can do it for 6 days in a week. It's something that you do a lot, but not always. In that case, you can use the adverbs usually, often, or normally. These all 3 things mean the same thing and it's all up to you. You can use whichever one you like. For example, I usually wake up at 10 a.m. That's a bad thing. I often watch TV in the evening. I normally go to work by a car. Now, what about some things that you don't do a lot, but you can't say you never do it because maybe in a week you do it once or twice. In that case, you can use the word hardly ever or rarely. So this would mean you do it 10 to 15% of the time. Example, I hardly ever wash my car. I rarely eat fast food. That's a lie, by the way. So today we learned few adverbs of frequencies that can be really helpful in your day-to-day life. Now you can use the appropriate adverb at the correct situation. So let's just take a quick revision of all the things that we have learned. So always, 100% of the time. Often, usually, normally, 80% of the time. Sometimes, 50% of the time. Hardly ever and rarely, 20% of the time. And never, 0% of the time. So I hope that this video was helpful to you and you learned new things. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and also leave your comments. I love to read them and they motivate me a lot. So bye bye, I'll meet you soon in the next video.